Jam! Hello again, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of Monday Night Magic here on the MTGcast Network. I am Chewie, and I have no response to that, oddly enough. I gotta work on that.
I thought I was just gonna let you have one this time.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
I think you're so used to being interrupted that you just plan for it now.
That could be.
Aren't you supposed to be failing as always to keep these dogs in check?
No, that's the wrong show.
I don't know. I was on that show last time I was talking to you.
Yeah, it's a little
See,
weird.
now we're off track. Still got there.
Welcome to Monday Night Magic.
So yes, in case you can't tell, I am joined this week by Squee, of course.
I exist.
Yeah, he does. And Chris Lansdell, level 3
You
judge.
have no proof of that. Level 3 judge.
And writer for Star City Games.
Hit me.
.com.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing? I have a question. I have a question. I have a feeling this question may be asked multiple times this show. Is PVDDR good at Magic the Gathering?
Citation needed.
Fair.
Maybe? Wait a minute. How many Pro Tours has he won? Spoilers?
2.
How many top 8s did he have?
12.
Doesn't that get him a free sub?
How many times has he been Player of the Year? Spoilers?
Just once.
And is he, in fact, in the Hall of Fame?
He is. Yeah.
Nah, he's probably just lucky.
He's just average. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he's just lucky. He's just really
But how many PTQs has he top 8'd in North Carolina?
I would hope not many.
I mean, he's clearly worse than you, Joe.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
God, I can't even.
Ladies and gentlemen, pick your statistics. You can make anything true.
He's not wrong. So yeah, Chris is here because Pro Tour Hour of Devastation happened.
It did. I wasn't there, but I have proof.
But you were paying attention.
Yeah, much to my girlfriend. That's okay. I'm still here.
That's okay. That's pretty awesome.
Did your girlfriend just get her revenge? Is that what just happened?
No, much to my girlfriend's chagrin, when I'm watching the live feed at like 3:30 in the morning, she would wake me up going, now that you're asleep, can we please turn the TV off? I guess. God. But yeah, I watched almost every round.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good Pro Tour. Some masterful plays.
If you like red.
And Doritos.
Okay.
Pablo Doritos.
I think
so.
You
460. No, that's one of his nicknames, right?
I don't know.
If you say
yeah,
so.
Pablo Doritos. I think it had something to do with he was called something similar at some fast food joint in the States, and of course Luis wouldn't let it go. So.
Oh, well, that I could see happening.
463 players went to Japan because, frankly, if you had an all-expenses-paid trip to Japan or a flight paid to Japan to play Magic the Gathering, you'd probably go too.
Yeah, I'm
Seems
pretty
like
sure
a good deal.
If they were going to pay for the flight, does that cover room too, or is it just the flight?
Just the flight, I believe. But you room with 4 other people and it costs like $20 a night.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could handle that. Plus,
you'd be in Japan.
Yeah, that doesn't really do much for me, but okay, sure.
Really? That's like bucket list for me. The big story, of course, apart from PV winning the entire thing, which is kind of a big story considering it's his 12th top 8 and something like, I think, 49 starts or 52. Some number that's less impressive than PV, but more impressive than Kai, but more impressive than Finkel in terms of conversion rate of appearances to.
You kind of have to get to that scale eventually when it's like, they're good. How good? Let's put them in this list. Everyone else, you're way over here.
Yeah.
And then there's these guys.
I think it's safe to say he's definitely passed like Bob/Nassif for the 3rd best player of all time.
Dang.
Which isn't it's not too shabby. The question is he past Kai/John? And I mean I don't as good as PV is and as much as I like the guy, I don't think he's at that level yet.
I think when you reach a certain point, it becomes impossible to actually rank them.
I mean, good at Magic the Gathering is about the only ranking we need at this point, right?
Yeah, so anyway, let's talk about the top 8 first, and then we'll get into all that other stuff.
Sure.
So, PV1,
He
playing
did.
as so many people were this weekend, what has been coined Ramunap Red. Which,
One of those rare deck descriptions that I don't hate entirely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't especially like it. I think they just named it that because it's fun to say.
Well, it's better than a mono red aggro, which could literally be anything.
Yeah,
With that Abzan deck.
Even a boat.
Yeah, it's mono red aggro Abzan. Duh.
Splashing black.
Not in this deck.
So not appearing in this picture.
Yeah, that's someone else in the top 8. So, Paulo's running Ramunap Red. There were several variations, but most of them were pretty similar to things we've seen in the lead up to the Pro Tour. With your buddy On Crop Crasher.
He's not my buddy, friend.
And your friend Hazaret the Fervent.
That card is mildly annoying.
Oh, see,
Some kind of prevert.
I was hoping that you would. He's not my friend, buddy. Anyway, some Kari Zev Skyship Raider, complete with a legendary monkey token, and that's why. The Village Messenger, Bomat Courier, Falcon Wrath Gorger, and Earthshaker Kenra, who is just nuts.
Is that
like when
related
you're-
to She-Ra?
I'm sorry, what?
Is Earthshaker Kenra related to She-Ra?
Probably
You
not.
really are trying too hard to be cute, I think, because
No, I'm not trying at all.
it's not funny
I'm
at all.
legitimately curious.
And
So
then he's running the instant speed removal of Abrade and Shock and Chandra Torch of Defiance because Chandra.
You got to top your curve with something. It might as well be an amazing Planeswalker.
Yep. And then we get such land. Even the mana base matters in this mono red deck. You've got 14 mountains. You've got your Sunscorched.
Thank
you.
Dessert.
Your Sunscorched Dessert, which
Dessert.
is free damage, which in a deck like this is extremely important. Your Scavenger Grounds, which is more deserts and is also some graveyard hate. And then you've got the card the deck is named after, for some reason, the Ramunap Ruins, which I'm pretty sure when we talked about this card on the Mana Pool, we were like, this is really good.
Well, that might be the reason it's named after that card then, Chewie. Just throwing that one out there.
But I mean,
I
it's not
think
like it's called Earthshaker Red.
I would wager it's because by running the ruins in the Sunscorched Desert so that you can, start chucking the Sunscorched additionally, the deck knows it only has to realistically do about 14 damage.
Yeah.
And that changes the fundamental design of a red deck when it only has to get to 14.
So, watching the stream, there were very few times where the deserts actually became relevant, and there were even fewer times where the Eternalize on Earthshaker Kenra became relevant. But the threat of both of them was often huge.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you can't really burn your life as a resource when you can't interact with land killing you. You have
Yeah.
to play differently. And so if you're just watching it on feed or something, you don't understand the weight that it's carrying because they're not activating it, you might not quite get it. Try playing against one once and then you'll get it.
My article today, which you can find on the select side of StarCityGames.com, talks about ways to beat this deck.
Every Monday.
Thank you. God, you're good at this game. And one common mistake is people try to beat this deck by trying to block. You're never actually blocking. The deck just will not let you block. It's got so many you can't block effects in it. Between the Kenra, On-Crop Crasher, some versions play Cartouche Zeal.
Karizev has Menace.
Yep, she sure does. I mean,
It's a
you'll take
math deck.
time.
Like, this is a math deck. All the cards have a number on them. That's how much damage it's going to do to you. You don't really have a lot of say in the matter. So you kind of have to come up with a way to either prevent that damage from getting to you through other means, or to change the math by gaining your own life or making the fact that they're obviously not blocking either sort of bounce back and hurt them.
Yeah, and racing it is fine. Lifelink creatures still have value because you get to attack with them, of course.
Right.
But generally speaking, don't try and block. It's not going to do what you want it to do. Sadly.
And traditionally, one of the weaknesses of the, essentially the Red Weenie deck is that it starts strong and goes and hits you real hard, and then they stabilize and you run out of cards and you lose.
Yeah.
But things like Chandra Torch of Defiance and Ramunap Ruins with all these deserts.
The real killer in this deck has been Hazoret, because the reason a lot of the pros chose to play this deck is that people were saying, yeah, I can beat the mono red deck 70% of the time unless they have Hazoret. Because the version that was played at SCG Open was basically I think it was just 1 or 2 copies of Hazoret. And some people at the Pro Tour were playing as many as 4.
Yeah.
So
it's once you run out of cards, then you've got this giant 5/4 thing that won't die.
Seems reasonable, yeah.
Yeah. And even if you top deck it after you've run out of cards, it's a giant 5/4 thing that won't die with haste.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, cool, I have haste. How about I just kill you? How's that? Oh, and every card I draw is actually a shock.
Yeah, let's not forget that part. That's important.
That is important.
It makes it easier for keeping that hand size down.
Also that.
Is that a thing?
Doesn't need to be.
You don't need to be.
That's true.
Anyway, so that's Paulo's deck.
Paulo, is great.
It is pretty cool. I like it. Which I think we said the first time we saw a similar deck, this looks like so much fun.
Still true.
Not only did the pros agree, but it looked like it was the best deck.
Yeah, I hate mono red. I can't bring myself to play it, and that's not meant to be elitist or anything. I don't think it's bad. It's just not for me.
I think you are no longer replacement clues.
I despise playing aggro in Hearthstone. I just can't. It makes me sick. So yeah, I understand.
Now, having said that, I do like playing like aggro decks, just not red ones for some reason. My preferred style is just to grind out value with green and black. I prefer not to play counterspells because I forget I have them.
Do you think that maybe the thing you have against red is that experience that Joe was talking about before, where when you run out of gas, it's a miserable experience?
Maybe. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that red decks are brainless and you don't need to think to play them. But there are certainly fewer decision points, and the deck doesn't make you plan your turns out as far ahead as other decks do. And I'm doing a really poor job of selling it, other than I think mono red is a brainless deck, so I'm just going to stop.
Fair enough.
I mean, I think it's worth noting that mono red decks make overall less decisions because if things work out, the game doesn't go as long.
True.
And therefore, you can focus more on the early development stages of the game, because if it gets past that, you're probably not going to win. So I could certainly see that. It also is just a case of mono red decks are generally a lot less forgiving if you make a mistake. You don't get a lot of recovery opportunities once you lose momentum.
Yeah, there are fewer decision points, but the ones that you have, I think, are more important than in a control deck. Because you get so fewer... because as Bill said, if the game goes long, you're probably going to lose. But that means that the few that you have, you say, well, you just pick which hasty creature to throw down an attack with. Yeah, that's an important decision.
So, dear listeners, if you're wondering why we're spending so much time on one deck in the top 8...
Because it's not one deck.
It's because it's like 3/4 of the top 8.
Welcome to the meta.
Well, standard solves. Good night, everybody.
Yup. Is PV good at Magic? Yup. Is mono red the solve format? Yup. All right, that's it. Game over.
PV Dunstan's Revolution is good at Magic.
That's what I hear. So let's go to second place, where Sam Pardee is playing a black-green Constrictor deck.
Snack.
Now, this snack is fairly similar to the ones from last season.
In that it's almost identical?
Yeah, I mean, it's got... I don't remember 3 Nissa Voice of Zendikar in these decks.
Yeah, they did, because it's really good with Snack.
Some of them were running Nissa. I don't remember them being this prevalent, though.
Okay, that's possible. It definitely was in some of them because I played it myself.
So we've got Nissa and Liliana the Last Hope, of course, because, she's good. And then we get Grim Flayer, Walking Ballista, makes sense, Kalitas, the Sneck, Winding Constrictor, Tireless Tracker, Verdurous Gearhulk, and Rishkar Pima Renegade. Yeah, these are all pretty much cards from last season.
Do these decks generally have an Ishkan in the main, or do they hang out in the board?
It varies, but yes, generally there's one in the main and then more.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is missing any in the main.
Interesting.
And then it's running your stuff like Traverse the Ulvenwald, Dissenter's Deliverance, Fatal Push, Grasp of Darkness. Yeah, okay. Over in the mana base, there's a Hashep Oasis, which,
Midnight at the Oasis. That one?
Sure.
Right. Yeah, that I'm not sure why that card's in there, but I do like Ifnir Deadlands a lot.
Which is not in this deck.
No, and maybe it should be.
Yeah, I mean, it only finished second at the Pro Tour, Yeah,
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to build your deck, Sam Putty, but you should probably have played that card. I think Hashep Oasis is very good with Grim Flayer and Verdurous Gearhulk.
Yeah.
Because of the trample. So it's not like it's a bad card. I really like Ifnir Deadlands.
Fair enough. But yeah, there's really not much new here. You do have the one Doomfall in the board, but this deck was already solid and apparently had a good game against Mono Red because he made it here.
Not surprisingly, past some Mono Red.
Yeah.
I guess after a while, there's only so much Mono Red you can beat before it catches up with you.
It's true. So let's see. That means he had to beat Sam Black in the semis.
Poor Sam.
Who was
always
running...
the bridesmaid. Guess.
Yeah, he was running Ramunap Red, a slightly different version. Instead of some of those creatures and what's his Chandra? There we go. He's got Collective Defiance and Incendiary Flow and Cartouche of Zeal.
Yeah. Cartouche of Zeal is just an extra you can't block effect that also helps push through a little bit of extra damage out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. One thing that we did see, I think Sam got caught with one in hand at the end of a game where if it had been literally any burn spell, he would have won the game. And
yeah, I can see that being a problem.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with any aura, right? Sometimes you just don't have anything on which to put it.
Yep.
But, hindsight's 20/20.
That's what I hear. Noah Braid's in the main, too.
Nope, they're all on the board.
Yeah, that trips me out.
I'm sure there was a good reason for it.
I'm sure there was. Like, it had to be... The only reason I could think of to play Incendiary Flow in the main over a Braid is something that counters instants and not sorceries.
Zombies. Zombies as well.
Well, I was going to say that and the fact that Flow exiles things because zombies, yeah.
Zombies apparently has a good matchup against this deck anyway.
That is what I hear, yeah. So let's... Oh, wait, no, we don't get to talk about zombies next. Whoops.
I'd wager the Incendiary Flow's ability to dome players probably also matters.
Sure. Yeah, I can see that.
Braid doesn't... Oh, I keep forgetting that it's not a lightning strike.
No, it says destroy target torrential Gearhulk or deal 3 damage to target creature.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it could blow up Aetherworks Marvels too.
If it feels like it. If it can find them, yeah.
I couldn't get that out with a straight face, I'm sorry. So let's go to fourth place.
Rest in pepperonis.
Aw.
Pepperonis.
Wait, do I want any? No, I don't want any pepperoni. My pizza had ham and pineapple.
Good.
Mine had bacon and red pepper and tomato and arugula.
I think yours is better.
I like pineapple too much to agree.
Also, pineapple belongs on pizza, and I will fight anyone who disagrees.
So he's not replacement Clues. He doesn't like Mono Red, and he likes pineapple on pizza. It's so weird. Clues, by the way, dear listeners, is on a cruise. There's a Clues cruise. That's why there's no Clues.
Pretty sure he just lives on a boat.
In the summertime, it seems that way, yeah.
When the weather is hot.
Anyway, so in fourth place, we have Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm guessing Yam Wing Chun.
Yes.
Got it.
Nailed it.
First try.
Is running, wait, is this the same? It's closer to Sam Black's version of Ramunap Red than Paolo's.
It's a sad state of affairs when that's how you have to describe the decks already.
Well, meaning that he's running the sorcery speed removal in Collective Defiance, Incendiary Flow, and no copies of Chandra in the main. Yeah.
Now, the others weren't running Soul Scar Mage, right?
Some of them are, but I don't think the two we've seen thus far.
I don't think the two we just
they are not.
So just be aware that that's another one of the many.
Wait, is that the prowess? That's the prowess.
Yeah, it's a single red prowess one.
Soul Scar Mage is really the only way in the mirror to remove a Hazaret.
That makes sense.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Wow, that is really good against Hazaret.
Some versions as well. Let me see. No, they don't have it. This Shintaro, which we'll get to. He's playing red-black. Felix Leong, who we'll get to in a moment, had it. Carries as expertise.
Yeah, there's one in the board for Yam Wing Chun.
Which, if you have a Hazaret and your opponent has a Hazaret, means that your opponent doesn't have a Hazaret anymore.
I can has?
A rat. You just take his and you take his and sack it.
And I can cast a thing.
Potentially.
Wow.
The value is just non-stop. Like I don't think I can handle all this.
Wait, what do you sack it to?
It's a legend roll.
Oh, okay. You've started with if you have one and your opponent has one. Got it. I missed that part.
Give me that, just for a sec.
Just for a sec. So
you can have it back, it just won't be alive.
Let's move on then. Shintaro Kurata in 5th place is running black-red aggro, which is the mono red deck with a couple of extra cards thrown in. Ammon Eternal being a big one.
Zombie Crocodile Demon.
Right.
Also, he's running Cut to Ribbons, and he can play both sides. And Collective Brutality. Ooh.
Yep. That card's really good against aggro decks.
That's what I hear.
Kill a thing, take a burn spell, gain 2 life.
Winning. He's also running Eldrazi Obligator, which I find hilarious.
So the commentators were talking about this and how interesting it was that he's playing 8 lands that potentially will come into play tapped on turn 1 in an aggro deck. In Smoldering Marsh and Foreboding Runes.
Right.
But he's not playing the most obvious payoff for black mana in the deck, which would be Scrap Heap Scrounger.
Oh, he's not, is he?
Which, you'd think would go pretty well with things like Hazaret the Fervent and Collective Brutality, because you can discard them to escalate and then just get them back again. Interesting.
I didn't even... Because the vast majority... In the Mardu Vehicles decks, that says Mardu, but it's really red-white with... what's the name of that card you just said?
Scrounger.
Scrap Heap Scrounger, thank you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Indeed.
But it seemed to work out because, top 8 of a Pro Tour.
Yeah, his losses in the top 8 were actually because he could not get out of the gates as fast as the red decks could.
Was it due to the lands coming in tapped?
Yeah, basically.
That's rough.
But I like the deck. I think it needs more swamps and fewer black lands. Like, if near dead lands seems excessive in the deck. Eldrazi Obligator main deck is really interesting. I'm not sure what the thinking behind that was. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just find it interesting.
I guess because sometimes you just want to steal something.
Sure.
I mean, it's another way to get Hazaret, like you said.
He only has six sources of colorless mana in the main deck.
But he only needs it probably once, maybe twice per match. So,
Yeah, true.
By turn 5, he'll probably hit one. I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Blazing Volley is that the only thing it is? Yeah, that's really funny in the sideboard.
So what's that there for?
A couple of reasons. A lot of the creatures in the mono red deck have 1 toughness, but the biggest reason for it is the monument decks.
Ha ha ha! Good call.
I would like all of your things to go away now.
It's probably also just funny with the Soul Scar Mage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
It's like pay a red. Oh, I'm sorry.
Black Suns for 1. Is this good?
Not actually. So.
No, definitely no.
Not at all. So, moving on in 6th place, Felix Leong is playing another Ramunap Red. Very similar to the Sam Black version. Pretty close, yeah.
Starting to see a pattern.
Full 4 Karizev's expertise in the main, in the board, along with Harsh Mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's up with that. By the way, we didn't mention this with PV, but his sideboard is just a masterpiece.
So let's see. Going back to PV, he's got 2 Chandra, making it 4 total.
Yeah.
2 Savage Alliance.
Which is just great when you go wide.
Yeah. 2 Ether Spear Harvester.
Tell me, when everybody's playing Mono Red, is gaining life good?
Sounds good.
Probably, yeah.
That whole thing we were saying before about the way you fight a red aggro deck is to gain a little bit of life and offset half their strategy. Because if you get past threshold, they're done. Not the mechanic, just the threshold of damage they can do.
Sure.
Also, 2 Sand Strangler.
Yep.
Which is a good way to slow your deck down a little bit and get some extra value.
I mean, it's Flame Time covered.
That's sort of, yeah. 2 Chandra's Defeat, which is which is even more funny in a world full of Mono Red and Chandras.
And Nickel Bonuses.
Let's not forget him. 1 Oath of Chandra. Huh. Why?
It deals 3 damage to a creature and then sits there and dings your opponent for 2 if you're ever lucky enough to cast Chandra.
So it's a burn spell that you might get extra value out of. Got it.
Yes.
2 Alar and 2 Glorybringer. 1 to go wide and 1 to go hard to the face.
Yep.
And kill a thing.
Dagron.
Because Dagron. I
see no issue with Dagrons.
No. It's pretty cool. Okay, that was PV sideboard. Let's see here. Going back to 7th place. Where could somebody else pronounce this man's name, please?
Yusuke Sasabe.
Thank you. Is playing Mono Black Zombies, which, like we say, I keep hearing it has a pretty good game against the Mono Red decks.
So they said on the coverage. I'm not sure why, but it does, apparently. There's no life gain in there that I can see. The removal, I guess, is the key.
I guess? I mean, they do have 4 main deck answers to Hazaret that they can just... Okay, it's dead.
Yeah. Turns out Dark Salvation is pretty good for that.
Oh, I was thinking Grasp of Darkness, but yeah, that too.
I mean, yeah, Grasp of Darkness does the job great. Dark Salvation sometimes does it for 1 mana, and sometimes gives you zombies on the way out as well.
That is also true, yeah.
Kalitas has lifelink.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, he's not in every version, though, so...
Yeah, I'm just looking for ways that this would benefit over. I mean, obviously, it can go wide enough that it can just swing back against the deck that's not blocking, too.
Yeah.
And it can kill off enough things on the way that it'll probably push past it. But I imagine, if Kalitas connects once or twice, then their deck just loses.
So I actually played against this deck at F&M, the Mono Red deck, not the black deck, and it was the most frustrating experience of the entire night. Just awful. I hate when these decks exist. But there we go.
Fair enough. So, yeah.
You are the anti-clues after all.
Sasabe is playing your normal sort of Mono Black Zombies thing. Your Crypt Breaker, your Dread Wanderers, your Relentless Dead, Diregraph Colossus, Lord of the Accursed, Kalitas, and then Dark Salvation, which, for some reason, I'd completely forgotten that not only does it make zombies, but it also, kills a thing.
It does do that.
Yeah. Fatal Push, Grasp of Darkness, Liliana's Mastery, and then Ifnir Deadlands and Westvale Abbey in there with the 19 Swamps.
Westvale Abbey is just... It's one of those cards that people forget it exists, and then you play it against them and kill them with it. And they go, oh yeah, Westvale Abbey. Well, guess I lose.
Yeah, and there have been lots of times since it was printed where we're like, why is that in this deck? And we're like, oh, because it can be.
Yeah, basically.
Like, why not? It's a colorless source of dudes, and it could be a big-ass 9/7 thing that domes you.
And never dies.
So, there's that.
I hear not dying is quite useful.
I hear that's how you win.
I don't understand.
It's certainly good for not losing, Chewie.
Squee jokes. And then, rounding out the top 8, we've got Seth Manfield playing Ramunap Red that's got both Chandra and a bunch of sorceries.
I'm afraid you have mispronounced that gentleman's name. His name is actually Seth Manhandles the Field, because that's what he does every single time.
His name does pop up in the top 8 of these things a lot, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
It's like he knows what he's doing or something.
He is quite good at Magic the Gathering. And I've seen, I think this is his second or third top 8. The profiles are probably on here somewhere, and we could easily find that out.
In fact, I will click on it now. 2 other Pro Tour top 8s. So yeah, this is his third. 5 GP wins, and of course he won Worlds in 2015. Or the World Championship, rather. Excuse me.
He sure did.
So, of the many red decks in the top 8, only 2 of them running Seagate Wreckage.
Yeah. I think it's just a case of we don't want to dilute our mana base anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they probably don't really have the time to draw more cards, because if they're running out of cards, they're probably winning.
Makes sense to me.
It's sure, like, if you're going to hedge your bets at all, it seems like a very good way to do it. Like, they gain a little bit of life, but you get a card up again, it might be enough to offset it.
Wait, who's gaining life?
Like, the opponent. Like, if the opponent gains a little bit of life and it goes 1 turn longer than you were planning on, you might be able to top deck something to solve it. Because Seagate Wreckage is the card that lets you draw a card, but only if you've got no cards in your hand. And this is going to constantly be running on no cards because it wants Hazaret working anyway.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that, like in PV's case, they just decided that the graveyard control of the other desert, Scavenger Grounds, was just more valuable than the Seagate Wreckage.
Oh, and I'm sure they obviously played with both and came to that conclusion. I don't think they just ignored the card. They just find it interesting.
Yeah, very much so. Cool. So that's your top 8. There were 5 mono red decks, 1 black red deck, which was almost the mono red deck, 1 black green constrictor, and 1 mono black zombies. But if we stop at that doesn't sound terribly entertaining. So let's go check out what happened in the day 2 standard metagame breakdown, where it looks like
it's not great, Bob.
Is it not? Seems pretty great. Let's see here. Day 1, there were 115 players running Ramunap Red, 84 of which made day 2.
Fuego.
A little bit. Other high conversions, because that's apparently what we care about. Now, remind you, this is a split format tournament, so just the standard portion doesn't necessarily mean as much as it would at a GP, because there were drafts. Like, didn't PV60 his drafts?
Yeah, maybe?
I think. I might be wrong there.
Wasn't he undefeated day 1?
Yes.
Oh, there you go then.
But I think he lost in the last round of the second draft. Was he 11-0 or 10-1? I don't know.
11-0?
Yeah, he would be 11-0 if he went 3-0 in both of his drafts. Because you start 8-0. He started 8-0 for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he was in fact
the standard portion as well. Got it.
He was in fact 6-0 in draft.
Yeah.
Why am I not seeing the day 2 standard metagame breakdown?
It's in the show notes if you want a straight link.
Make it a lot easier.
Yeah, wouldn't it? So let's see here. Other high conversions. The black-red aggro deck went from 7 in day 1 to 6 in day 2. So not many people playing it, but almost all of them made it. Black-green constrictor from 45 in day 1 to 35 in day 2. That is not a small number.
Nope.
Mono black zombies from 53 in day 1 to 36 in day 2. We had, who else? Blue-red control Teamer Energy, red-green ramp, decks that we've seen already in this standard. Mardu Vehicles, Teamer Emerge. The white-blue Godpharaoh's Gift went from 18 to 10.
Oh, that deck is so sweet.
It is pretty sweet.
I don't like some of the mill creatures it plays. I wish it could get by without those. But the deck is so sweet.
Red-green Pummeler. White-blue Flash. Is this... This is basically everybody. Mono-red Eldrazi. Blue-black Zombies, black-red Midrange, and a white-blue Monument. Only 7 of the 17 that started made it to day 2 with that.
Yeah. That deck, people were hunting that deck down.
It did seem pretty strong going into it. Not like mono-red strong, but still pretty strong. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the deck, there were some interesting decks played for sure. But
sure,
you have to dig pretty deep to find them.
I'm sure Chris is going to spend more time down here in the others section with decks that had 3 or less people show up with it total.
You are entirely correct, sir. In fact, the article I write every year or every season after the Pro Tour specifically does that. It's just basically decks that scored more than 18 points that you may have missed, but that are pretty cool. And you find some interesting brews there. They don't always have what it takes to make it, to the top tier. But if you go better than 6 and 4 at the Pro Tour, the deck is not terrible.
True.
And at this Pro Tour, if you went better than 6 and 4 in Standard, you must have a good game against Mono Red. Because it was almost half the field.
No.
On day 1 it was.
There were 115 players. How many people were at this Pro Tour? 463.
On day 1, it was 49 point... Oh, no, sorry, it was a quarter of the field. My bad. Yeah.
There you go.
Math.
Math is hard. That's why we have clues. Oh, we don't have clues.
Math is over.
No, I'm sad.
So there you go. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Go follow Chris over on Star City to check that out. I'm assuming you'll be doing those over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think I'm going to talk about Modern this week since I'm head judging a Modern tournament in Syracuse. Shameless plug. Syracuse is a city that I would not have ever expected to visit.
Nor would most people that don't like,
live in Syracuse.
Also that. Okay then, so moving on. Now, so something happened in the semifinals that completely shaped where this tournament went.
Okay. Did I miss this?
Maybe? When Yum-Wing Chun drew the win against PV, that's game, he wins, got super excited, and moved into combat early.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did miss this.
So it's win right now, or lose next turn, right? That's the world he's in. He's got a Hazoret on the board.
Yeah.
And Paulo had nothing untapped. And he's got a Collective Defiance in hand.
Right, I'm with you so far.
And he draws his card. It's Incendiary Flow. He has to cast Incendiary Flow or Collective Defiance, or both, ideally, at Paulo's head, and then attack, and that's game. He drew the card, got visibly excited, reached to Hazoret, turned it sideways. Two cards in hand.
And then because Paulo realized something was up, he blocked when he probably wouldn't have done otherwise?
No,
you can't attack with Hazoret when you have 2 cards in hand.
Oh, right.
As we pointed out before, Incendiary Flow is a sorcery.
Oh, dear.
As is Collective Defiance. And poor Yum-Wing Chun, dude, he got, again, visibly raged at himself. Like that. And like the headset fell off because he was so upset. Because he'd know right then, by getting excited and going, ha, and swinging, or attempting to swing with Hazoret, which means he moved into combat, that he just threw the game.
Yep.
And this is one of those things where the lesser-minded are going to go, ha, 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 and please don't be that guy, all right? Whoever you are, don't do that. How many times, as a player, have all of us seen a win and screwed something up? with nothing whatsoever on the line.
0.
Shut up, Chris.
Yes, sir.
You're not a player, you're a judge.
Exactly.
Sorry, sir.
And
won't happen again, sir.
Poor Yam Wing Chun here had all of this. He was on camera. He was in front of everybody. There were actual thousands and thousands of dollars on the line. And he knew exactly what he had to do. And he drew the card and he's like, I win. And sequencing. Like
we've all done it.
We've all done it. This poor guy did it on camera in front of everybody forever. And millions of PVDDR fans.
Thank you for the reference.
And like there's a link in the show notes to a Twitch clip of Rich Hagen talking about what had happened. And I highly recommend, even if you're the type of person who never checks the show notes, please go click on this and watch it.
Yeah, just don't laugh.
Yeah, like you can't help but feel bad for the guy.
Also keep in mind that at this point, he's been playing Magic for days.
Days straight. Like
yeah. I get grumpy, headachy, and start making mistakes around, like, even when I go to bigger tournaments, which doesn't happen anymore, but back when I did, about round 7, my brain starts to decide that Magic cards probably taste like yellow. And
they certainly smell like
you just start making like mistakes. You will make mistakes. And he's 3 days into that. And yeah, and that split second of I'm going to make it to the finals. He got excited. He jumps ahead. We all do things like that when we're in our normal state of mind. So I feel bad that happened to him. He's probably, I beat myself up when I make mistakes in Magic and I think about them like the entire drive home. I hope he's more forgiving of himself than I would be, just because I know how my personality works. And
there's another clip of the moment when it happened. And you could see, like I said, he got visibly angry with himself and knew, like, you could see he drew the card. His whole body jumped like, yes, I win. And then he screwed it up. And then he goes, and there's just this, and it's got to be directed at himself. Like, he can't get mad at someone else for that.
You know what it reminds me of? You know that Simpsons episode where it's like, you can actually hear the exact moment when his heart breaks.
Oh, you mean Ralph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically the vibe I got from it.
Yeah. So just everybody take this as a lesson that no matter how good you are, and he's good. He made the top 16 of Pro Tour Fate Reforged. He's got 2 Grand Prix top 8s. This is not his first rodeo. I mean, he was qualified for the Pro Tour.
Well, if the rodeo is the top 8, then it kind of is his first one. Right?
I'm going to hurt you next time I see you in person.
Yeah. Best offer I've had all day.
But, yeah, I just want everyone to take this as a lesson that no matter who you are, no matter how good you are, no matter what's going on, these things happen.
They sure do.
And let's learn from these things and commiserate, but don't just follow Wheaton's law, man. Just don't be a dick about it, all right? Thank you. That is all. One of the things that we strive to do here on Monday Night Magic is to teach you all to use your brains and be better people. Granted, most of our listeners don't need that because our listeners are already awesome. But still, spread the message.
What's the message, Chewie?
I hate you, Chris.
Don't do that thing you're doing.
Yeah, that is totally the message. Don't do that. That's the message.
Okay. But
anyway, so let's move on. What else do we have to talk about from the Pro Tour? Not only did PV... and the other side of this, I saw a comment from somebody somewhere about PV winning that said, well, he only got there because he got lucky in the semis when Yam Wing Chun threw the game. I can't tell you how angry this makes me. Because, hey, Chris, is PV good at Magic?
Paulo Vitor Dance Dance Revolution is quite good at Magic, yes.
Okay, that is what I hear, yeah. Now, I can't remember who it was, but I think it was a poker player a long, long time ago that said, yes, I get lucky. Actually, this might have been a Magic player too, and I'm just getting them confused. They said, yes, I get lucky, but being really good, part of being really good is setting yourself up to take advantage of luck. And Paulo had gotten to the point where he was going to win next turn if he didn't lose right now. Like, that's what happened. Had Yam Wing Chun top decked a land, Paulo would have won anyway, and no one would have been the wiser. It just this conversation wouldn't be happening.
Right.
But also don't say things like, well, Paulo only got there because of XYZ. We rattled off his accomplishments earlier. Like, he's a damn good player.
Mm-hmm.
Don't belittle that because he won a high-profile game because his opponent made an obvious mistake. I'm sure that opponents made mistakes throughout the game against everybody throughout the entire tournament. And I'm sure that all of anyone who's ever said that has totally won games because their opponents made mistakes. Like, that's the nature of the game. So don't be that guy either.
The time that I top 8'd a PTQ was a time when one of my wins came off of one of my opponents forgetting to reveal his morph at the end, and during the period of time where forgetting to do that cost you a game.
Yeah.
And it mattered. Like, that adds up.
And don't be modest, you top forward.
Sure. No one says that, but yeah. I came in third. I may or may not have still come in third by the end of all of it, but that was a factor in getting there. These are things that just happen in the game. The winner is generally the one who makes the fewest mistakes, or the one who takes the most advantage of their opponent's mistakes. Very few of us will play perfect games of Magic ever, and the pros and the people that get there the most often are the ones that are the best at it. But they're not perfect either. It happens.
It happens.
And even if you don't realize it, because you might not know, you benefit from things like that all the time. In this case, we all saw it, and everyone around saw it, and that's what happens. I'm sure if we all gathered around to watch every game of Magic that you played, we'd probably find some of those moments too.
Probably.
Nope. I'm perfect.
Well,
you don't play Magic.
Exactly.
You're a judge.
I actually play more Magic than most people you know.
Well, yeah, most people I know don't play Magic.
Yeah, we podcast about Magic, so. Anyway, moving on. So, yeah, but that one mistake, and there's a nice write-up about it here in the top stories, a mental misstep and its butterfly effect, where he points out, who wrote this? Chapman Sim points out that had Yam not had a sequencing error in that game, then all kinds of things would have changed. For instance, Marcio Carvalho would have been Player of the Year.
Yep.
Because Marcio Carvalho, for those that don't know, had been leading the Player of the Year race for like 6 months. Like, he was on top, and there were only a small handful of people who had the chance to take him down. In fact, I think as the tournament progressed, the only way anybody would have taken him down is for PV to win the...
So, yeah. So, basically, the way it all came out was if PV made the finals, there would have been a playoff between him and Marcia. The only way PV could win outright was to win the Proto.
Yep.
Is that what he did?
Yeah. So, had he not made the finals, Marcio just would have been Player of the Year. Instead, PV got it. Holy crap. Hall of Famer, Player of the Year for the first time, and this is his what? Third? No, second. How many?
Second win.
Second win.
12th topic.
There we go.
The other one he won was Protoss San Jose when he played a Jace deck, and I believe that card is better than all.
That is what I hear. Yeah.
Wow.
Not only that, but had Yam won right then and there, not had his sequencing error, then he would have gotten the qualification for the World Championship, but since he didn't, there was an empty slot, and that means Eric Froelich got it.
Yay.
So just it's amazing how the higher up you go in the stakes, the more things that are at stake than you immediately realize, Sure, he didn't make the finals, and he ended up placing, 4th? Yeah. but there were all these knock-on effects that came from that, which it's just amazing how all this math works out at the higher levels of the tournament structure and all of the assorted things that go with that.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So the other big thing that happened this weekend was the 2017 Pro Tour Hall of Fame class was revealed.
Yep. That Martin User certainly had himself a weekend, huh?
Yes. I don't actually know where he finished.
Well, he won Draft Master.
Really?
Yep. Barely. And he got elected to the Hall of Fame. So that's not a terrible way to finish a weekend.
So for those that aren't aware, explain Draft Master.
So they track each player's performance throughout the year at Pro Tours in both Draft and Constructed. This year it was just called Standard Master. I believe they're going back to Constructed Master next year because Modern is back.
Right.
But so the player with the most match points in Draft and in Constructed gets a seat at the World Championships. And for the longest time, it looked like Marcio Carvalho had it locked up. And then...
No.
Wasn't he leading Draft Master at one point?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, coming into this, there were like several people in contention. I thought he was one of them.
Oh, I don't know. The names that are listed here in this top stories are Makis Matsoukas and Paulo himself.
Calcano, Timothy Wu, Paulo, Yuza. Oh, and Travis Wu was doing well as well, I think. At the start of the weekend, Travis Wu was 1 point ahead of everybody because he had a draw. I might be remembering a different tournament. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I think happened. Okay, but yay, Martin User won.
Let's see here. Losses from Owen Turtenwald and Smith. Who is Smith?
Smith.
Donald Smith. So yeah, after those two fell out of the race, it was Makis Matsoukas, Timothy Wu and Christian Calcano, Paulo and Martin Juza. Yeah.
Yeah, Travis Wu is named in there as well. Because he was in the lead coming in, but he had a 1-2 in his first draft pod.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, if you're trying to win an event, if you're trying to win a title based on your draft results, going 1-2 seems like a poor way to do so.
A little bit, yeah.
Perhaps not the strategy planned.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton, but it didn't work out for him.
So, yeah. Okay, anyway, so back to the Hall of Fame. So, Martin Juza.
Who
from the Czech Republic. He's been insane forever.
He's been on the ballot for a while, but he hasn't really had Pro Tour success. He's just been at every single GP, and that's why people were saying, well, maybe he deserves a slot. But a lot of people wanted to see more Pro Tour success from him before they voted for him. And then he went in top 8 at the Pro Tour, so I guess that's what tilted the balance in his favor.
That seems good.
He's got some stupid number of GP top 8s.
He's the 26 and 4 wins.
So I don't. You must have spoken about this on Monday Night Magic when it happened. But Saito top 8'd a GP in Japan, and the Magic Pro Tour account tweeted out that his top 8 put him tied with Martin User for the most Pro Tour top 8s or GP top 8s of all time.
Right.
User replied to that tweet, "Hold my beer." And then top 8'd the Pro Tour in Europe the same weekend.
Yeah, he did.
The hold my beer is what got it for him. And just calls his shot. User's actually a really funny guy.
So, that's not all, though. We also had, this one should be a surprise to nobody. Josh Utter-Layton was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Bill, where's your surprised face? Is it with your eye?
I mean, in this case, I don't have a surprised face. Like at all. He crossed over the 400 lifetime pro point mark. Whoo!
Is that a lot? I feel like that might be a lot.
I think that's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's good. And he hasn't actually won anything huge. He won the Mox and a GP the week before that, so he had a pretty good spell. But he has 4 Pro Tour top 8s. He's one of the best deck builders on the planet. He's a super nice guy. You never hear a bad word said about him. He's never been accused of anything. This was
5 top 8s, I think.
Okay, Chewie.
Hey, man, that's a big number, man. That matters.
So yeah, he this was a slam dunk.
Yeah. So
wasn't there a third person who got in Chewie? Or?
When I saw the announcement, I thought for sure something was wrong because there's a name that's conspicuous. Now, not to take away from Martin Yuza and Josh Utter-Layton at all. These guys totally deserve it, and it's awesome. But yeah, the other story about the Hall of Fame is that there's a name missing. What was that name again there, Chris?
The meddling mage, Chris Pikula.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you must have seen the irony, right? He got 41.08% of the vote, I think, which before they changed the rules would have been enough to get him in because the threshold used to be 40.
Oh, right.
Damn.
So, yeah, because he literally just got back on the ballot.
I was going to say, is he, I don't know if he's the only person, but he's one of the notable few who have fallen off the ballot and then gotten back on and made a push to get elected.
Yeah. I think, did Huey fall off the ballot at one point?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think he missed election and then he was like, you idiots just don't know how good I am. I'm going to come back. And then he won literal everything.
Yeah, I think he went on a tear.
And it's like, oh, right, Huey's just ridiculous at this game. I guess we should vote for him.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Because this is the first year with the 60% rule, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cold.
Sucks to be you.
Really does. So, and he also didn't do well at the Pro Tour. So it was just a disappointing weekend all around for poor meddling mage.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be back. And I think all he needs to really do is just put up a good finish to remind people why he was, like one of the most liked players of all time.
Yeah. I also really think, now of course there's no way to prove this, but I really think that hearing when were these announced?
Friday lunchtime, I think, at the Pro Tour.
Yeah, hearing that announcement that you didn't get in, that had to not do good things for his mental state for the rest of the weekend.
Literal no chance he enjoyed the rest of his day.
Yeah. So our heart goes out to you, Chris, but you'll get in there. Not you, Chris. Yeah. Chris Pikula.
No, there's no chance. Zero chance I make the Pro Tour top 8, but also Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But that's fine. My role in Magic is different.
Hey, mine too.
What's yours?
I'm an entertainer.
Ah, that must be why you make me laugh.
That's a good part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the Pro Tour. That's Pro Tour Hour of Devastation. It was a hell of a show.
I really liked the changes to coverage. I mean, anybody who didn't think Cheon was going to be amazing probably needs to pay more attention to Magic the Gathering. And Maria and Rich made a pretty good team. I still think Maria's a little clumsy. She's like me. She tries too hard to be funny. I do it on purpose because it gets good reaction from you. I don't know why she does it.
I don't know. I didn't actually watch any of the live coverage, so
I like what she brings. I like her sort of relaxed and casual feel, and she has good chemistry with Rich. I think she just needs to bring a bit more gravity to the situation. This is the Pro Tour, after all.
All right, then. Whatever you
I can't really weigh in there because I was out of town and did not get to watch it live either.
Yeah, the only bits of the Pro Tour I watched were matches, so hey, look, there's more stuff.
What?
More stuff.
Right?
Act now.
See. So, I want to start with this super badass Ajani Goldmane statue, as it is put in the show notes. Thank you to Will Blanks, a judge down in Atlanta, who is let's say the backbone of Monday Night Magic. He's the one who always ensures that we have lots of stuff in the show notes to talk about. And he put this in here.
That is incredibly detailed.
That says, and I quote, super badass Ajani Goldmane statue. And I clicked on it, and yeah, that's totally what it is. It's by Prime One Studios. I have no idea who these people are or what the purpose of this is. If this is a thing you're going to be able to buy, I assume.
I'm pretty sure Prime One Studio is a Tokyo-based model company. Or statue, I guess.
I tell you this, though, sir. I should like to subscribe to their newsletter.
You would not be able to read it. But the pictures would be amazing.
Yeah.
Are you questioning my ability to read katakana?
If they use katakana, that would be nice.
I know nothing.
Fair enough. But yeah, this is really detailed and really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's well, the effort that must have gone into this, down to even the angle of the different shapes of the charms on his necklace thingy,
right?
And the scar. There's even pockmarks on the shoulder plates, the epaulettes or whatever they're called. Yeah, this is
insanely detailed and super badass.
Kitty.
So okay, after that, we've seen the HasCon promos.
Yeah.
There are a crap load of HasCon promos. Basically, everything Hasbro can do has promos. But for the purposes of this show, the important things are the Magic promos. And they're finally being shown off. So they're silver bordered, as we were told they would be. And we've got the Sword of Dungeons and Dragons. Grimlock Dinobot Leader, who actually transforms into Grimlock Ferocious King, because of course he's a transform card.
I'd be offended if he wasn't.
Yeah. And we've got Nerf War, which actually looks like it'd be a lot of fun to cast about once. Maybe twice.
Can confirm.
Damage.
Wait, say that again?
The return of half damage, no less. If you're trying to keep up with your unmechanics.
Oh, hey, look at that.
You could use this to shoot little girl.
You could. Well, no, because it only deals damage to that player. Sorry.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Pariah it is.
But, yeah, these cards...
Monday Night Magic does not condone shooting little girls.
No, but you can totally shoot little girl the card. That's fine. So yeah, these cards are their Hasbro crossover things that are really cool.
And pretty.
And very pretty. The foiling process on these, Trick Jarrett, of course, did his thing that he does where he threw up some animated GIFs of him holding the cards and turning them so you can see how the light plays on them. And yeah, these are really pretty. And there's also a super sick dragon token that the Sword of Dungeons and Dragons makes that I don't know where it comes from. Is it also in this box? Is it a fourth card? Is it the other side of Sword of Dungeons and Dragons? I don't understand.
It does come with the box, I believe, yes. That GIF, by the way, was sweet looking.
Don't ever say that again.
What are you talking about?
It's a GIF, damn it. It's a GIF. It's not a graphics interlace format.
Oh, dude, graphics.
I am not bad at this, James.
Oh, we'll turn this podcast around.
Nah, Chewie already did that.
Oh, shots fired. So, yeah.
We haven't got a good fight in a while.
If you can... if you find yourself at HasCon...
That's probably the statement that makes everybody think you hate me, by the way.
That has nothing to do with you.
When has that ever mattered?
Carry on, Chewie.
I hate it. Every time I bring Chris Lansdell on, he and Squee have a beef. I don't understand what's going on.
Dude, beef is delicious.
Beef
right?
is delicious.
In fact, you might even say that it's...
No.
No, you can't. Don't do it, or we will have a problem.
Oh my god. So how does one get
Tasty.
these? So these are part of the HasCon exclusive thing.
Yeah. Which you get by, going to HasCon. Which
You go to HasCon, you give them $30.
And then sell them for $150 online.
Well, I mean, that gets you part of the way through what you paid to get into HasCon.
Isn't that like $500?
It's something stupid like that. Like, it's insane.
It's more money than you would think, but that's why they're giving you all this crap.
Yeah. Now, some number of these, much like the San Diego Comic-Con promos, some number of these will show up on the HasbroToyShop.com at some point in the future for approximately 6 seconds.
Yep,
they will go up approximately 20 minutes before you find out about them, and they'll disappear approximately 21 minutes before you find out about them because it's weird.
I was just going to say, they will go up and then they will go down because everybody has bought them all.
Yeah, that 6 seconds was not an exaggeration. That's probably about right.
Sad, really, because these are awesome and I would like to own one. But only to say I own one.
I like a Grimlock. I know people that would enjoy that who don't play Magic anymore, but Grimlock still love dinosaurs and still love Transformers.
I mean, who doesn't love Transformers?
At least the good
Michael
ones.
Bay.
Yeah. Zing! Now,
communists, that
one of the things that Grimlock says is, it says, dinosaurs, vehicles, and other Transformers creatures you control get +2/+0. And someone asked Mark Rosewater on Blogatog, by giving Transformers +2/+0, does Grimlock give all creatures with Transform +2/+0? And I think he was asking this as a joke. And Rosewater responded with, Transformer, in quotes, is defined as either a character from the Transformer universe that is a Transformer, or a creature that transforms, meaning any double-face cards that use the Transform keyword action. I know it's a double-sided, silver-bordered card that
that's still funny.
That like 4 people in the world will own, but that's really funny.
Yeah.
Because it means that going forward, we're going to make fun of every Transform card as being a Transformer. For those keeping track, that means that, yes, Jace is a Transformer.
Wait, does this mean now that all of the bad guy flip cards have to be paid in Affinity because it's Decepticons?
Wait.
If they get played, it'll fit.
Wait, does Jace say Transform?
He doesn't actually
Prodigy.
transform. He exiles himself and returns. Oh, yeah, he does return transformed, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, look at that.
What happens is he gets canceled in his toy line and he comes back as a different toy.
Mm. So if Jace were a Transformer, which one would he be? It's Starscream, right?
Oh, he does return to the battlefield transformed. Yeah, okay.
Because everybody hates him and wishes he would go away.
He's Spike.
Everyone hates him and wishes he would go away, and yet things just wouldn't be the same without him, you know?
I don't think that everyone hates him. I think that we hate him.
The Clues hates him, but that's more because of his color. Wait a minute.
Well, Clues wants him to get unbanned, so I don't even know if that's the thing anymore.
What?
Clues wants him in Modern.
Well, Clues thinks that Clues thought that unbanning him right before the announcement that he was in one of the master sets would have been a brilliant PR move. And I agree.
That's not incorrect.
Yeah.
But he's never getting unbanned.
Which is too bad.
Have you ever seen a Magic card reach $500 overnight? No? Would you like to?
I mean, I'm not going to buy them, so I don't care.
Wow.
Wouldn't affect me at all.
Screw you, I got mine. Chewie 2017.
I don't even have any. Anyway, moving on.
I could say screw you on Monday Night Magic, right?
You just did, yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I could say a lot of things that I'm not supposed to say.
I appreciate that. So, it looks like that's what we've got for news and stuff.
See, I don't know if you know this, but there is no swearing on Monday Night Magic.
That's what I hear. So, hey, Squee, you want to take us over to the Moto?
We can take a look at the Moto. So, as usual, I remind you that the Magic Online stuff is generally a week old, and most of the Magic Online news pertains to tournaments that happened last weekend, so most of it isn't actually going to matter. But we'll walk through it anyway. So, first up, last weekend they brought back the Magic Online format challenges, which went away for a little while, so keep an eye out for those going forward. You can follow what those are by checking in every Tuesday when they put up these announcements. Fun times and nonsense on that. Also going on in the world of Magic Online, we've got our bug blog, which is honestly the only really entertaining news in Magic Online, because sometimes it's funny. So let's just jump right in there. So how do you feel about Diregraph Colossus, Chewie?
That's a great big thing.
It is a zombie giant.
Yeah.
Well, as a giant zombie, you could theoretically, with a Rooftop Storm, pay 5 and a blue to pay 0 rather than paying the mana cost of it to get a free Diregraph Colossus. And I say theoretically because if you do, it might happen or you might reset the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, Magic Online.
The experience.
And Karn goes, "Hey, that's my job."
Yeah, that's Karn's gimmick, and here we are. I just like to say, not will reset the game, may cause a game reset. Who knows?
It's a bug. No, it's a feature.
Depending on what your goal is, it's still a blue spell doing it.
It's a floor wax.
All right, so here you go. If you add more than 60 basic lands to a deck, you may not be able to use save decks from that event in that event. So,
what?
Yeah.
More than 60
Battle of Wits.
I have a question. How was this discovered?
Battle of Wits?
It's got to be Battle of Wits, right?
I would assume Battle of Wits.
You may not be able to use save decks from that event in that event. Does that mean... What does that mean?
So, in Magic Online, you build your main deck, okay?
Right.
You submit that.
Right.
You have the option of saving that deck and then going and building out of that pool an additional deck.
Oh.
And being able to then save that as a separate one and then load it. So that, if you're playing in sealed, you can make 2 decks and freely load between them since you only have a short amount of time between rounds. If you're playing in a tournament, you could, I guess, preload the different builds of your sideboard and then load those up. I've never done that, but theoretically, I guess you could. But anyway, what this means is that you've added all those things. You might not be able to load that version of the deck if you swap it and need to go back to it. This is really helpful, by the way, if you're playing limited online and you don't get your deck submitted on time, because it's just going to drop your entire pool plus an arbitrary number of basic lands in. So you can, in theory, play whatever nonsense you have. And since you've only got like a minute or two between rounds, you're probably not going to be able to build a 60-card deck or a 40-card deck in that amount of time with any regularity. And you certainly don't want to have to do it after every round. So throwing one together, saving it, and then continuing to load and try to fix that each round is pretty much the best way to get a recovery from what most likely happened because you dropped your internet connection at the end of build or something equally dumb happened. So, hey, be aware, I guess, if you're playing with more than 60 basic lands in your online deck, that you may run into that. Hollow One, the golem from this set that costs 2 less for each card you've cycled or discarded this turn, doesn't count discarded split cards. Oops. That sounds just like a, mistake. Speaking of mistake, the command cycle, Profane Command. Profane Command is one of the wonders of, choose 2 things off a list. Well, if you cast Profane Command and you choose to give creatures fear when you control no creatures, it prompts for a large number. I don't know what that means.
Could we just say Magic Online, everybody, and go to the next one?
Casting Profane Command, choosing to give creatures fear when you control no creatures prompts a large number. It's technically a sentence, but I don't know what that means.
Well, I'm sure if we'd played Profane Command on Magic Online, that would make sense to us.
Maybe it says choose 178 targets or something. I don't know.
Because it says up to X target creatures gain fear. Maybe it's like choose up to 183 creatures. And you go,
And then you're like 0.
No.
Yeah, I guess so.
Valid choice.
It's the next effect, so I don't know. It's weird. Here you go. Here's something weird. Phyrexian Metamorph costs 3 and a Phyrexian blue. But if there's a Trinisphere in play, it costs 4.
Wait, what?
So Trinisphere says, as long as Trinisphere is untapped, each spell that would cost less than 3 mana to cast costs 3 mana to cast.
So if you're... What?
Phyrexian mana, good job.
But it's still 3.
It still costs 4.
Right, but even if you discount the Phyrexian mana, because the game can't handle it or whatever, it still costs 3.
Which is not less than 3 mana.
Yeah.
No, sir.
So that one's weird on multiple levels.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with that nonsense. I don't know what they did. This is why the bug blog is fun to talk about, because it's like, how do you do that? All right, so Ignite Memories with its crazy metal Mad Max looking fire mohawk card.
That thing is spooky looking.
Yeah, it's like Ghost Rider, but they can only afford part of the head.
He reminds me of Sweet Tooth.
I can see that. Yeah, creepy burning clown.
That's from
All right, so
Twisted Metal, for those of you that aren't old.
Oh, this is similar to that Diagraph Colossus problem. Ignite Memories and similar cards can cause a game restart if the target has no cards in hand. To remind you, Ignite Memories is a sorcery that says target player reveals a card at random from his or her hand. Ignite Memories deals damage to that player equal to that card's converted mana cost. Storm.
Yeah, Ignite Memories, real good Magic card.
Yeah. So yeah, they've got no cards, so presumably they're having trouble revealing, and it's having trouble determining how much damage to do. And because of Storm, hilarious giggles. Maybe that creates like an infinite zero nonsense thing. I don't know. It's weird. All right, and here you go. My favorite vague problem. The Great Aurora does not function correctly.
I love that card, though. This makes me very sad.
I don't know what it does, but it does not function correctly.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite vague ones since, due to issues. All right. And finally, the Nissa Genesis Mage Planeswalker deck, as in the one most recently from Hour of Devastation, contains two...
That's the B-Team Nissa.
Yeah, this is like JV Nissa. Planeswalker deck contains 2 Sifter Worm cards instead of 2 Angler Drake cards.
Those are not similar.
No. Angler Drake is a 4/4 flyer that lets you bounce something. Sifter Worm is a worm that tramples, scries, and then gains life.
And is a 7/7.
It is a 7/7 for 7.
Huh. That's weird.
It's a different problem. That's probably a simple case of whoever was coding it put in the wrong card IDs, but still funny.
Hilarious.
So yeah, be aware. These are all strange things going on. You can click on the known issue list under the link to see everything that's wrong right now. If you play Magic Online, you should be aware of these things, both to minimize your own headaches when you encounter them, and to know what, if your opponent is somehow taking advantage of it, how to properly report them, because these are known bugs. They can't just pretend they did it by accident. So be aware. Not that I imagine that many people are out there looking to reset the game with Diagraph Colossus and Rooftop Storm, but if you're running that weird zombie deck, I guess know that that's a thing right now. Go figure. And finally, Magic Online player rewards are changing. So if you remember long time ago, there were like normal paper player rewards.
Yep.
Which were neat and mailed out to us. Well, Magic Online also had something like that. And because Magic Online doesn't pay postage, they continue to do things like that for a while, just in different forms. I'm not going to go over the history of that. But the most recent change to it is that starting on August 30, instead of getting promo cards directly, they're going to give you player rewards packs, as in a digital pack of 1 card. That is your reward, as opposed to just straight up giving you the card. And what this means, though, is that rather than immediately knowing what you have the experience of opening it and seeing which one you get. Or, as these are tradable objects, you could convert it into tickets or something using the secondary market, which may matter depending on what shows up in the player reward list. I don't know if the contents of it are determined the moment you get it, or if it's simply something that redeems whatever's on the list, and so it might change over time. I imagine that's addressed somewhere, but since I checked the Magic Online blog and they didn't tell me, I don't know. But just be aware that that's how they're going to be doing it going forward. So I think that's kind of neat. Now, that said, if you want to get player rewards packs, you don't just get them by default. You actually have to go into the Magic Online Players Reward Policy Agreements tab. So you go to the Account tab, click on Policy Agreements, and then choose Yes, I'm eligible to receive rewards. That's pretty much their way of verifying. I think it's done by age or region. To be eligible, you must be a legal resident of and physically located in the United States, so that limits you. Above the age of majority in your state of residence, have a Magic Online account, as explained in blah, 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 and some other terms that you need to read. I guess because this is technically a form of compensation, because you could theoretically sell Magic Online things. I don't know. Read over all this if it interests you. But remember, you don't just get these things. You have to turn them on. So there's a link in the show notes to learn more about this. That page also has a link to what all the current promo cards are, so you can check that out, as well as the things that they're going to be doing going forward. So, neat. And that's pretty much it for Magic Online right now. It's in a relatively quiet period. Check the weekly links so that you can see what's up with all of the upcoming tournaments that I will tell you missed each week. And yeah, there we go.
Is it really a US only thing?
I think there's a way to do it if you're not US, but
it just bothers me that it doesn't mention that anywhere else in this article.
So there's prize eligibility for other stuff, but for player awards, it just shows it in the terms for where you opt in to receive them.
You'd think that they would mention that somewhere there, Lee Sharp, because that's important.
What are you talking about? That's not important. Everybody knows it. There's no way it needs to be hidden in the terms and conditions, which nobody ever reads.
Right? Although I have to say, the art on this promo Quambaj Witches is really cool.
Yeah.
Sentences that nobody has ever stated.
But do you see this art? Dude, it's so cool.
It is, though.
It's a nice little modern throwback to the original with the two weird-looking witches. Nice. Okay, then. So is that it for Magic Online?
Yep.
So I guess that's it for podcast.
Yeah. Take that, Magic.
So, hey, Chris, what sort of stuff do you have to take us out?
So this is sort of like, it's been an interesting week for me. Started off okay, but then things started to go a little weird. I am really looking forward to the upcoming month because I'm going to be basically everywhere. You can find me in Syracuse at the Star City Games Open, where I will be head judging the Modern Classic on Sunday. Then I'll be playing a Modern Pre-TQ the next week here at home. Then you can see me in Toronto at the Regional PTQ. You might be seeing a theme here. And at GP Indianapolis, and hopefully, if the strike at Toronto Airport clears up, GP DC. I love Magic the Gathering. I really do. And being able to get out and judge and see friends and help people enjoy the game is the main reason I still do this stuff. So if you're going to be around, come up and say hi. I don't bite unless you ask nicely. I am the big black dude.
The one that looks like Chris.
I look exactly like Chris, yeah.
And more importantly, the one that sounds like Chris.
If you were a distinct voice.
If you were at GP Toronto 2 weekends ago, last week, I have no concept of the passage of time. You would have heard me on the microphone quite frequently. Hey, man, I copy from the people that I love.
Oh.
And you.
Oh, get off my Kool-Aid.
Indeed. Thanks for having me. I love talking about Magic, and you guys are cool to hang out with, and Clues still hates me. Clues is the one with the beef.
Yeah, have you noticed that lots of the time we have Chris on, we don't have Clues? Damn, that's eerie.
Right?
It's like
Judge cycling.
It's like how all the prices at the convenience store end in 9.
Half-Life 9 confirmed?
No, dude, that's 3 to the 3. They can never do that.
Oh, God.
Triple confirmed.
So, Chris is also a level 3 judge, and you can find his articles every Monday on StarCityGames.com. On the select side.
Yeah.
Jam.
I'll be there for a while. I'm not well known enough yet to get to the premium side, but hopefully, maybe by next year, you might start to see some video content coming.
That was well timed.
Cat not included. Or maybe cat included.
Oh, cat will be included. Listen, if Shiro can get famous, then my good buddy Vader will be famous.
That is a good point. I actually prefer Kibler to Shiro. I know I'm in the minority there.
I'm ambivalent. That's the word.
Fair enough. So, how about you, Squee?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Squee Goblin Bob. There's no I in Goblin because I'm pretty sure I lost it at the beach. Last week I went to and survived Nashville. I can assure you it is exactly what people say it is, which is to say a series of streets that consist of bars, tattoo parlors, live music, very small museums, and oddly enough, more than one Elvis statue that is physically chained to the building behind it, so presumably it is not stolen by people who want to steal an Elvis statue.
I find nothing about that odd.
It is the way of things. But yeah, it was an interesting place to visit. I was there for work stuff, so I didn't really explore all that much, but It was neat. I will say that I went to a place that had macaroni and cheese with pulled pork, which seemed like it'd be amazing, so I ordered it. And then they sprinkled Cheeto dust all over the top of it.
Well, I'm out.
Yeah, that was not good.
It sounded good up until that part.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, we've got, like real cheese, pulled pork. It's going to be good. And then they just cover it with like the bottom of the bag that they were clearly eating out of. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I never really thought, what this good cheese needs? Fake cheese. So if you find yourself, anywhere where they push this as a feature, ask them to hold that so that you get good food. I wasn't aware that was what it came with, but yeah. I guess someone's into that. If you're into that, you should tell Clues because he's not here and I haven't messed with him in a while. So at La Spell, just like it is in the show notes, tell him your favorite kind of cheese. No context. It'll be great.
And if you don't have a favorite kind of cheese, tell him how much you love pineapple on pizza.
He loves hearing that.
Just tell him that anyway.
Yeah. Why not? Cheese agnostic. So you got that, and past that... Yep, I'm no longer traveling all week, so I may actually be a little more active on Twitter. I haven't gotten to Overwatch yet, so I have not played Doomfist, but my understanding is that he punches well. So we'll see how that goes eventually.
That by the time you get to play the 6v6 Doomfist elimination hasn't gone away, because that is a trip.
Is it all Doomfist all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, I want a Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
Well, that's pretty much what he does, yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I should sign in on some of that before it disappears.
People spectating or watching my stream when I was playing some of the 6v6 were like, this tends to snowball quickly. Yeah.
I would hope so.
When it's all Doomfist, as soon as someone dies, then that team loses usually. And someone dies fast.
All I've really seen with Doomfist, because I've been actively not looking at it since I know I wasn't going to get to play for a while, has been this clip of Doomfist repeatedly not falling in the well, where like each of his abilities enabled him to escape from being booped, and so for like 30 seconds he's juggling in and out without ever falling in the stupid well.
Yeah, we actually realized on stream that playing Doomfist is sort of like playing first-person Smash Brothers, because he's totally got a triple jump.
Nice. I appreciate that in a lot of ways, so I look forward to checking that out, and it'll probably be on Chewie's stream when I do.
It's pretty funny. So that leaves me, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd like to follow my stream, you can follow that over on twitch.tv/themanapool, where I play stuff on occasion. I played some Hearthstone and then some Overwatch. And then the next day I played some Overwatch and then some Overwatch because Doomfist. And, we need to try out the fisting. And we did. There was lots of fisting. We fisted people just all day.
Was there Doom?
There was Doom, yeah. Yeah, that was the point. That's what I named the stream, was more fisting? More fisting. So, yeah, because
Fisticuffs.
I am, in fact, immature.
Well, I mean, maturity is vastly overrated anyway.
That's what I'm telling myself so I can sleep at night. Other things are the YouTube channel is youtube.com/themanapool, where I play stuff and put up the podcast and play more stuff, and when I have time. I've got some more Rogue Legacy recorded that I haven't had a chance to put together because bad at this game. But that'll be going up soon. Yay. Yeah. Also, yeah, that's pretty much it. I will... If Bill is around for streaming tomorrow night, we might just Doomfist. I was gonna do some Walking Dead. Hey, Bill, you gonna be around for the stream tomorrow night?
Hopefully.
Oh, okay.
I've been playing catch up for missing work, but I'm planning on trying to.
Okay, well, there might be Overwatch tomorrow night. There might be Walking Dead. It depends on whether or not I have a bill. Yep. So
all up to me.
Yes, you are the master of my destiny or something.
That sounds super hot.
I control the horizontal and the diagonal.
Yeah, there is no vertical because Overwatch. So
Doomfist has the vertical.
Yeah, pretty much. Basically, everywhere on the internet you can find me as the Manapool. Twitter at the Manapool. That's where I do most of my interacting with people. If you just want to find out when stuff is happening and what's been going up, all of that happens over on Facebook.com/the Manapool. Anytime a podcast goes up or a YouTube video goes public or a stream goes live, it pops up there. And If you want to send me an email, send it to Chewie, that's CHEWIE at themanapool.com or at mtgcast.com, whichever one's easier for you to type. They both go to the same place. And if you want to help support what I do, you can check out patreon.com/themanapool, where you can get Manapool episodes and YouTube videos early. You can get the odds and ends, all the stuff recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool that are uncensored and unfiltered and generally unsafe for consumption. And you can get all that and your name on the end slate for every video that goes up in each month that you support at that tier, if you so choose. And of course, every little bit helps, and I really do appreciate it. And if you would like to help support Magic podcasting in general, but not me specifically, that's perfectly understandable. You can go to mtgcast.com, click on Support MTGcast, or something similar to that, and sign up for a small monthly donation there, because while MTGcast is completely free for all of us podcasters to use, and it's completely free for all of you listeners to use, it is not actually completely free. So every little bit there also helps, and I'm sure they appreciate it. And while I'm on MTGcast, I would like to issue a big congratulations to the Spike Feed. It's another show here on MTGcast, because I just, during, I think, Bill's final thoughts, I just approved episode 200.
Dun, dun, dun.
Green. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so a big congrats to those guys.
It's like 20 real podcasts.
Right? Which is sick. So yeah, there you go. With that, we will be done. So a big thanks to Chris for joining us for this Pro Tour episode.
Anytime, as you know.
And of course, to Squee for not being on a boat.
Yeah, I've had enough boats for a while.
So, I don't want to know. So this has been Monday Night Magic number 571 here on the MTGcast Network. Thank you all so very much for listening, and go play some Magic.